In this section, we're discussing the communities served by distance education. For example, higher education, K through 12, business, military, government, and international communities. In addition, we'll look briefly at the reasons for the rise in online education. The demand for learning is growing and cannot be met by traditional institutions. An increasing number of jobs require advanced training and technical skills. The availability of new technologies and mobile access means that we can now do things that we could never do before. In addition, there are economic and social incentives for supporting a more educated workforce. Generally speaking, more college means more pay. College-educated men make 54% more than those without a degree. College-educated women make 88% more than without a degree. People go back to school so that they can make more money. How big can online education grow? Many people are asking themselves today, will this serve as a replacement to campus learning? And is there an infinite demand? Does distance learning really expand education and impact the total number of students, or is it just replacing our current face-to-face options? Regarding the discussion of the infinite need for global access to education, most people believe that there are too many students to be served traditionally. Many believe that people educated by distance learning will have desire to attend even more classes, and thus, instead of substituting, will actually increase traditional education. The reasons why people have not been receiving the education they need to fill higher level job openings is simple and has to do with these three things. Distance learning gives them classes when and where they want, when and where they need. There are lower barriers to admission in some cases. And often, the cost is less expensive because non-traditional students can keep their job, may not have to travel, and may not have to get a babysitter. Distance learning has been growing at rates as high as 32% a year. Though in recent years the rate has declined, the number of online students is still far outpacing the number of traditional face-to-face ones. This chart shows information from Babson Survey Research Group. It was published in 2013 and looks at data from 2003 to 2011. As you can see from the chart, though the growth of online enrollment has declined or is tapering off, it is still growing at a much faster rate than total enrollment in higher education. Recent estimates say the number of courses is also growing faster, perhaps even faster than the number of students, especially with the introduction of free and open online education, such as MOOCs. In the higher education community, what is the role of public institutions? Public institutions educate 77% of America's students. They are sponsored by state government and motivated by societal and economic reasons to provide higher education. So they do have the potential to be leaders in distance learning. However, in many cases, they have not had the willpower or resources to overcome administrative challenges as compared to for-profit schools. The business community has seen the fastest growth in distance learning, seeking more efficient ways to educate and train employees. Corporations have huge incentives to reduce the cost of training as learning needs increase with the pace of new products offered and the use of new technologies. Cost savings are very large for businesses, not only facilities but also travel, food, lodging, and lost time on the job. For employees who cannot easily leave their job locations, the eventual cost of missed learning may be very high. Who's involved? Corporations involved with distance learning tend to be the larger ones or smaller ones. I'm sorry, corporations involved with distance learning tend to be the larger ones, as smaller ones may not be able to justify the cost of equipment and services. Corporations who use distance learning tend to be those who provide technology-based products or those of rapidly changing industries, such as pharmaceuticals. Corporations are also different from educational institutions in that they don't want to put the pieces of distance learning together. They don't care about esteemed professors, intellectual property, and a personal environment. They want an already put together program which includes everything, even the textbook. The military is an old player using distance learning in a new way. They are now funding education that is not just job related. They are now encouraging people to learn while they're still there rather than after they get out. Many people estimate that as many as 1 million students are coming in the next year solely from the military. Distance learning is increasingly important in the healthcare community. It's used for ongoing training for current practitioners and ways to educate those in rural areas. The most important use of distance education is telemedicine. They can use web cameras and video conferencing to diagnose people. Barriers include legal issues, regulations, and insurance coverage. Distance learning is worldwide. There is a high need for online education, business, and telemedicine, especially in developing countries. The University of the People is the first tuition-free online university dedicated to the global advancement and democratization of higher education. This concludes your overview for this section. Now it's your turn. Explore in depth one area of a distance learning community. You may choose from the following: higher education, K through 12, business and industry, military and government, health, or international. Let's get started.